And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vasel, and today we're taking a look at a two-player game called School of Sorcery. Now, the front of this box and the name of it may not excite you very much, but the company, Dr. Finn's Games, Stephen Finn has made some pretty fantastic game. Many people have heard of Biblios, so I was pretty excited about trying this out. And also, a quick two-player game. It says 40 minutes in a box. Maybe. This is a 30-minute or less game, in my opinion, after having played it. There's not a whole lot of those games coming out these days, and so that sounds like a fun one to try out. Let's take a look. Each player is going to get 3 dice of their color, 3 re-roll tokens, a set of cards that match your color, and a scoring book of their color. And one person's going to take this little wizard token and put it here on this thing. Players are also going to start with a couple permanent cards here. They're the ones that are red. There are 3 different types of cards. Yellow, one-time use, green immediately, and red permanents. You get 2 random ones, although you could also play where you draft your starting ones. You'll start with the points. These both show a point, so I start with 2 points. All right, so the way each round of the game works, and you're going to keep going until someone gets to 13 points, is the first thing you'll do is everyone will take 5 crystals, and one person moves the wizard to show. So I will take 5 crystals from the supply and put them here in front of me. Then we're going to cast crystals. This is how this works. You roll the 3 dice first. If you want to, you can spend tokens, re-roll tokens, to pick any number of these dice and re-roll them. Once you have the 3 dice out that you've rolled, you're going to pick cards and place them here. You can put this kind of out as a bluff, but other than that, once both players have done this, you're going to put these cards and it will show you how many crystals you put at each location. So this says 1, you also have a 2 and 3, so this means I'm going to put 1 crystal on the 3 location. So there's 1 through 6 locations out here. These 2 cards say I'm going to put 1 crystal on the opposite side, which is a 4. So I'd put 1 crystal on a 4, and 2 crystals on the opposite side of a 2, which is the 5. So you put out the crystals. Each player is going to be putting out crystals. Once you're done with that, you'll use the portal. If one person has crystals on the portal, which starts at number 6, they can take those and put those anywhere. If both players have crystals on the portal, then you'll secretly pick which location, hiding your die and then revealing them at the same time. Then players are going to go through each of the different spots here. So each spot, to win it, and you'll start from the highest number and go to the lowest, to win a spot, you need to have at least that many crystals on it. So I need 4 crystals. The number underneath it is the margin you need to have more than your opponent. So I would need 4 crystals and 2 more than my opponent. So let's say this is the case. Hey, that worked. I have 4 and 2 more than orange. So I win the card. All my crystals go back to the supply, and the loser will keep their crystals up to the number on the margin. So they could keep 2 in this case. And then I keep the card. In this case, it's a green card. They go off immediately. Green card will say score as many victory points, take as many crystals as characters as you have. Oh, I forgot. Before you take cards, you also can activate your powers. So here, I would activate this, roll a die, and add 1 crystal to any die location, and add a crystal to 3 and 4 if I have fewer there. So each person will have those go off. But then you'll go over these cards one at a time. Green cards you'll use right away. So this one scores as many victory points and as many crystals as characters I have. This is my only character, so I'd get 1 victory point and 1 crystal for this character here. Yellow cards are cards you keep and you can use them in the future, where here I can turn one of my dice to any result. And this one's also worth 3 points, so that's pretty good. And then red ones are just more permanent abilities. Add 1 crystal in a location if your opponent has more victory points. And that's kind of what we're going to find here. Force an opponent to reroll a die. Here's more characters. Score 7 if you have both broken wands. Also, take 2 crystals. So that you have to get both of those for that to work. Take as many victory points, one other character. Shift an opponent's crystal if your opponent has more victory points. So that's pretty much it. You're going to keep playing, switching the wizard back and forth until one person gets to 13. That person is the winner. You could also play a game of 16 if you want a slightly longer game. The components for this game I'm really not that impressed with. The cover here is obviously, hey, this is This looks like a video cassette at the store of a company trying to sell you a movie where you think it's Harry Potter, but it's not. And all throughout this, I'm just not impressed with it. It's so generic, boring fantasy. The cards are okay quality. The dice are okay quality. The crystals are fine. The reroll tokens are really small. And just overall, it's a very unimpressive looking game. The game is fine. I'm going to talk about my opinion on the game itself, but the components of it, meh. The rulebook also doesn't mention that this card means nothing, but it was pretty obvious from us playing the game. Yeah, like I said, this is so disappointing with just how the game looks. This is a hard sell. Maybe if someone's a huge Harry Potter fan, but it's not even Harry Potter. It's Harry Potter-esque. But that being said, the game itself I really enjoy. You roll your dice, you can manipulate them a little bit, and then you look at them and you're trying to think, okay, because you have two cards that you flip to the other side. So you're not out of options. You see what your opponent's rolled. You're both trying to outthink each other. You put the crystals out, you win the crystals, they give you points, and that's it. That's the whole game. But it's simple, it's fast, and it's fun. It's a nice, light two-player game that plays really fast, back and forth. Games come down to the wire. Like I said, it says 40 minutes on here, but I just can't see games taking that long. This feels like the good old days of the Cosmos two-player line of games, and this feels like one of those games. This is a game that for me and my wife could play this very easily back and forth. We could also talk about other stuff, but at the same time, there's a whole lot of and the portal's fun. The portal card will, I didn't mention, but as cards are taken out, the cards slide down and you add new cards in. And the portal card slides down. Once it hits number 1, it goes back to number 6. And the portal card's fun. You want to put things in the portal, and that gives you abilities to put stuff anywhere. But you also have those special abilities. So maybe, like I had the ability, that one card that lets me put on a 3 or 4 if I have less than my opponent. Well, my opponent knows that, so maybe they don't put a lot on 3 and 4 because it just helps me get more on those. So there's definitely strategy here. Like that broken one that gets you 7 points could be a game winner, but only if you get both of them. And if you want another one comes out, your opponent's going to go, well, you're not getting that. I like it. It's light, it's fast, it's fun. My only big negative is really on how the game looks. I just feel like it doesn't look that interesting. But on how it plays and the fast back and forth, that doesn't really bother me to the end of the day. So I'm glad. Like I said, I wish there were more of these lighter two-player games that exist, but this one does, and you should check it out. I'm Tom Vasel, and we've been talking about School of Sorcery on the Dice Tower. Dice Tower Judgment approved.